Hey ladies, thanks for joining me today. If you're new here, my name is Mitzi and I'm the Paper Girly. If you're a returner, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about fountain pens and why I think every woman over 50 needs one. So, has it ever crossed your mind about how you've now spent decades of your life rushing around with a never-ending list in your head? Whether that was writing out a grocery list for those last-minute items you need to pick up in order to make dinner tonight, or typing out what seems like a million of the same strongly worded emails for work. Maybe you're texting your kids to find out where they are and when they'll be home, or simply checking off lists of a zillion and one things that we want or we need to get accomplished on any given day. I do it. It's part of my life. There's been no way around it. Magical that happens when we are able to slow down, when we take a moment to ourselves to reflect on our day, enabling us to take in the small joys of what we've accomplished or plan for tomorrow that can really prepare ourselves to begin fresh the next day. So, if you're like me and enjoy taking this 10-15 minutes a day to relax and get recentered by taking out a notebook and journaling onto paper, and if you've been looking for a way to make your journaling feel a little more like a ritual and less like a chore, it's time we talk about the fountain pen. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Mitzi, aren't those messy? Aren't they for calligraphers? Honestly, there was a time that I used to think the same thing. But after 50, I realized I want the tools that I use every day to feel special. A fountain pen doesn't just write, it glides. There's no hand strain, just beautiful flowing ink. It's my self-care of the stationery world. And guess what? You don't need to spend hundreds of dollars to get the amazing experience of writing with a fountain pen. Now, I'm not saying you might not get obsessed with them and head down the perpetual rabbit hole of all things fountain pens, because you might. It's a very slippery slope. But trust me, ladies, if all you're looking for is the gateway into a writing experience like no other, I have a few options that are very affordable, easily acquired, and simple to use for the first time. Now, my favorite beginner pen is from Uli, a little company that is most widely known for its multitude of children's rainbow-inspired pens. But girls, this blue and black fountain pen duo is my ride or die. It's super affordable, under $10 for the dual pack. You can grab extra ink cartridges for under $6, or if you want an even more affordable option for extra ink, you can go my route. I ordered 100 pack of basic international standard ink cartridges off Amazon, and then I'm set for the next decade or so. You just pop the ink in, wait a moment for it to flow, and you're ready to go. Easy peasy. There'll be links to all of the basic starter pens in the description, so head back there when you're ready to do a little research and decide which one you want to try out. Another beginner pen that comes with cartridges is the Platinum Preppy. Now, I have the special edition that came out last year. That's not available anymore, but honestly, it's just the design on the handle that makes it a special edition. Other than that, it's just a regular old standard Platinum Preppy. It's known for its affordability. You can find them for around $8. And one of the reasons that the Preppy is such a popular beginner pen is that it has this slip and seal cap mechanism that supposedly prevents the nib from drying out for over a year. Now, I haven't had mine that long, so I can't personally say if that's true, but for all the Preppy fountain pens that I've seen sold out there, I'm going to guess that it's true. Now, the only con of this pen is that it does take a proprietary platinum cartridge, meaning that you can't use an international standard ink cartridge with this pen. But the workaround for me is to get an ink converter. An ink converter is a reusable, refillable reservoir for fountain pens that acts as an alternative to a disposable cartridge. It allows you to draw bottled ink directly through the nib. Once you have the converter that goes with your specific pen, it opens up the world of ink colors. Plus, it reduces plastic waste. Now, I have enjoyed the Platinum Preppy. However, next on my list of amazing beginner pens is my second favorite inexpensive fountain pen. It's neck and neck with the Uli, and that is the Pilot Kakuno fountain pen. Ladies, I went through a phase of being obsessed with these pens. Absolutely bananas over them. They come in different colors, 3 different nib sizes. My favorite is a medium nib, and they write like a dream. I have 7 in total. That means one for every day of the week if I want to fill them up with different colors and use them according to whatever mood I'm in. The pen itself is around $13, so while it's a little bit more expensive than the Uli or the Platinum Preppy, it does feel a little bit more substantial. And I really like the hexagonal shape of the pen barrel on my fingers when I use it. Yes, it does use a proprietary ink cartridge, but there again, you have the option of a converter. And I also have discovered a great way of reusing the cartridge that comes with it. And I have also figured out that the parallel pen cartridges can also be used in them. And this is a great option if you want 12 different colors to play around with. Maybe you just want to start with a simple disposable fountain pen before you commit to cartridges and converters and all that jazz. If that's more your style, then I'm going to suggest the Zebra fountain pen. You can start with a single for around $5, or they sell 6-pack of different colors for around $15 if you want to be fancy. These are simple disposable fountain pens with a fine size nib. Just uncap and start writing. Of course, if you want something a little more substantial, you can always level up for just a couple dollars more and grab my newest favorite, the Jinhao 10 pen. Jinhao 10 pens are a metal pen, so they're a little heavier, but I really like feeling the pen in my hand. Plus, the click of it really just does something for me. It's basically a dupe of the Pilot Vanishing Pen for about 1/10 of the price. Now, I'm sure the Pilot Vanishing Pen is amazing, but it's just a little out of my comfort zone for the budget that I'm working with. So discovering this Jinhao version makes me so happy. There are so many styles of Jinhao fountain pens out there. This just happens to be my favorite. Now, I'm not a fountain pen aficionado. I'm just sharing the ones that I've discovered over the last few years as I've fallen back in love with using fountain pens. Now, before we finish this off with the whimsical, viral Five Below colored fountain pens that everyone has been clamoring for recently, I just want to show you a couple other fun, inexpensive options that you might want to check out if you discover that fountain pens become your new favorite signature pen to use to make all those daily mundane lists a little more tolerable or special. The first is this Biwoody piston filling fountain pen. A piston filler fountain pen is a type of fountain pen that features an integrated built-in mechanism that uses a screw operator plunger to draw bottled ink directly into the barrel. Unlike cartridges or converter pens, the entire body holds the ink. It allows for 2 to 3 times larger capacity. The second I want to show you is this Mahjong pocket pen. I bought this pen to go with my Traveler's Company passport size traveler's notebook. It's the perfect size to pack with it when I'm tight on space, but I still want to have the ability to journal when I'm on the road. It comes with 2 different sized nibs, a fine and a medium. Plus, look at this, ladies. It comes with a glass nib attachment. That's a whole nother video onto itself. The third and final individual pen is this Mahjong mini eyedropper pen. I love this little pen because it's clear, so I can see the color of ink inside. And because it is an eyedropper pen, it's so easy to fill up with whatever color ink I happen to be obsessed with at the moment. And if you know me, I do get obsessed with specific colored ink from time to time. Right now it's Central Park Greens by Ferris Wheel Press in my new Jinhao 10 click pen, and I'm not going to say these right, Bouquet d'Automne by Jacques Urban in my piston pen, and Patsu Patsu by Sailor, part of the Sound of Rain collection, in this little eyedropper fountain pen. Now, I've been trying to put a cap on my fountain pen purchases lately because I have finally found my perfect pen selection and my perfect color palette collection. But that said, it's been a long road of trying out a massive variety over the years to come up with my perfect dozen. And I know it won't be the end of me trying out new pens or new colors, but right now, I'm pretty content with what I have. So, last but not least, let's talk about the most basic but fun little packs of colored fountain pens, Uli and Five Below. Both come with a variety of 8 fun, bright colored pens and matching ink cartridges. The Uli brand is around $15, and you can pick up replacement cartridges for around $5.50. The Five Below pens are only $5 a pack, but they don't have replacement cartridges available for purchase. However, They are international standard size, so you could easily use the Uli replacement cartridges for these pens. If you're new to the fountain pen game and want to play with colored ink before you move on into the world of converters and piston pens or eyedropper pens, these are a great option. But with any of these options, if you are a first timer with writing with a fountain pen, remember, the secret to enjoying the experience of writing with a fountain pen is the light touch. Because unlike a ballpoint pen, you don't need to press down. Just let the nib touch the paper. If you press down too hard, it's just going to put down too much ink, or puddle up the ink and bleed through your paper, or God forbid, rip your paper to shreds. You'll bend the nib, and that is the most important piece of your pen, the nib. The nib is the metal tip of the fountain pen that directly contacts with your paper. It transfers ink from the feed to the writing surface. It controls ink flow through a split, enabling smooth writing. But girls, don't let this scare you off. Do a couple practice sentences on a piece of scratch paper, and I promise you will get a hang of how much pressure is necessary to get that perfect glide. And ladies, it's less than you would think. It's perfect for those of us who might have a little arthritis or just tired hands. Because let's face it, after 50 so years of using my hands in all the ways that I use them every day, I've got tired hands. But using a fountain pen makes writing my morning thoughts or my evening gratitude feel like an art form. So if you're ready to ditch the scratchy plastic pens and upgrade to something that feels as intentional as your life is now, I've linked my favorite beginner supplies in the description. Don't forget to subscribe, because next week I'm going to talk about the best fountain pen friendly paper, because there is such a thing. So if you've been curious about getting into the fountain pen game, just remember, as a woman of a certain age, rediscovering the joy of writing, you deserve an elegant upgrade to document the magnificent life you're living and the amazing life you've lived. Thanks so much for joining me today. Until next time, from one paper girly to another.